Hey everyone, this is going to be one of my most advanced breathwork training videos, and it's going to be advanced because it combines carbon dioxide tolerance table training with intermittent hypoxia mixed in for 2 rounds. Which, if you have not done intermittent hypoxia work before, you should have a pulse ox. You should generally have done a bit of training wise with carbon dioxide tolerance, having your blood oxygen percentage drop to less than 87 to 91% or lower. But yeah, you should have already done some other videos. If you haven't done anything like that, I would not recommend this video. It's going to get quite challenging. It's going to start off with once I'll get the timer started here, it's going to count down for a whole minute. The app I'm using is Breathe Hold B. I think it's only for Android phones. I don't think it has an iPhone app. But yes, so it's going to be a carbon dioxide tolerance table, which, if you don't know what that is simply a certain breath hold time followed by decreasing time in between. So that, for this example, it's going to be about 54 seconds, and then it's going to be 57 seconds in between. It's going to keep on dropping down, so it'll be again after 50 seconds of just normal breathing. It's going to be another breath hold for another 54-ish seconds, and then the time's going to decrease to 40 something, and it's going to keep on going down the time in between breath holds. The breath hold's going to remain the same to all the way down to 10 seconds. So it'll only have a little bit of time in between. What I'm also going to incorporate, though, after the first 3 breath holds, it's going to be, I'm going to go straight into, even after the 54-second breath hold, doing little sips of air breath holds. So what that looks like, if you have done the advanced simulation altitude training exercise that I also should have up on my YouTube channel, that is going to look like this. It's the seated version where we're going. And I should mention this too, you can do this. I was there doing the simple, just about 5-second breath hold, and then I breathe in, little sip of air, go back to holding my nose. The version I'm going to do will be also swaying, so I'll do 10 sways with my nose pinched. I'll do 10 sways, and a little sip of air. So every time my fingers come off my nose there, I'm taking just a little sip of air. Again, this will be quite hard to get if you have not done some of my other videos where you have practiced this before, because that little sip of air is quite hard to control, especially under when carbon dioxide is very built up and you have diaphragm contractions. So, and very advanced exercise where you should have done some of my other videos likely beforehand, or have some other type of this training. But yeah, we'll get into it. It's gonna be about 11 or so minutes in total. So once I get started here, I have to start this because I can't skip it. It does start with a whole minute countdown. Now, for everyone out there, right now, you could be breathing in to about a 3-count inhale, 3-count exhale, 3-count inhale, 3-count exhale, and you're just going to continue that. And I'll let you know, it's going to also have a countdown, I believe, where it goes 3, 2, 1, hold, which is going to be in about another 30-ish seconds. So again, right now you should just be breathing in 3 and out for 3. There's a 30-second update, and then we'll get started. I'm going to get into it. Well, actually, I can show you this first. So my pulse ox right now, 99% oxygen and 62 pulse rate. I know it's backwards on this for the video, but got 15 seconds, so I'm gonna, actually I'll just stay here, that way I can show you guys my finger, my pulse ox, not the finger, my pulse ox, so we're getting ready here in 3, 2, 1, hold. can see already on my first breath hold, I already dropped down to 68 SpO2 percentage. Pulse ox actually still dropping down to 66.
30 seconds.
So that's a pretty challenging breath hold already. And because I'm doing other stuff, it was probably a little bit harder than my usual, but got about another 10 seconds. If I can,
3.
I'll try to hold the phone up as well.
1. Breathe.
So notice I had some diaphragm contractions there. Again, they're going to happen during this because it's pretty challenging. So if you're not used to those can be quite anxiety producing. Again, that's why you shouldn't have any type of medical condition or be prone to anxiety and not have practiced these before. And again, after this one, I'm going to do little sips. I'm going to sway back and forth. Wish there was some way I could put my phone up so you guys could see it without me holding it, but I'll probably have to put it down for this next one. Starting in about 5 seconds for the next one.
3, 2, 1. Breathe. 30 seconds. Three, two, one.
Now, and I'll show it here. Now I'm at about 87 SpO2 percentage.
Breathe. 30 seconds.
85 and dropping. Sometimes these pulse ox take a little bit to catch up. especially if you don't have a quite tier 1 or a medical grade 1. Those will be a lot quicker reacting, but we're going to get into our next breath hold here.
3, 2, 1. Breathe.
We're down to about 23 seconds in between now, so the next, 24, the next one will be 24 seconds in between. Whereas, I think that's the one we're on.
3, 2, 1. Breathe.
Now we only have 17 seconds. Notice I'm trying to get back to nasal breathing
3,
or maintain.
2, 1. Breathe. 3, 2, 1.
And we are finished. It is also done on that. And just Doesn't say the last one to breathe again, but it's finished as well. And till now, my rate is up. There it says 88 on there now. Can't too well, but also a pulse. So you can see, or my, SpO2 percentage really down, 71. And then coming back up. And then again, that's that intermittent hypoxia. Now, generally on a lot of those, I know we started off in an early first one, probably from me talking to things, my SpO2 percentage dropped quite a bit on that first one as to when I just do these regularly. But after that, it was pretty normal. It was only really dropping down whenever I would do those sway and then little sips of air. Generally gets your, because those little sips of air you can let off. I'm not even necessarily breathing in. Again, if you've watched some of the other videos, I've explained this, but it's not so much a breath in. It's almost just a relief. It's more pushing air out and a relief, or relieving some of the carbon dioxide. So, well, it's just taking a little puff out rather than, and then maybe a tiny little sip in. But generally, I'm getting rid of carbon dioxide, and then I'm not taking in a lot of oxygen. So then my SpO2 percentage, or my oxygen percentage, can drop. I'm bringing that down. Now, again, why are we doing intermittent hypoxia breath work? It's to increase our body's adaptation to the stress. Just like exercise, we're making the body adapt, like what happens when you go up to altitude. Your body is forced to adapt to the less oxygen percentage in the air, and as make those adaptations when it does. A lot of times, even one of the heart healthiest places in the world, I think, is it called Bolivia? I know there is, I forget the name of it. It might be Bolivia, but it's where they live at a pretty high altitude. I forget what that altitude exactly is, but I think it's like, it's definitely higher than I believe a mile. So these stress adaptations are good, but they can also be very, very challenging to do. And again, anyone that has serious medical should not be throwing off their oxygen percentage like this. If you deal with like sleep apnea, if that's happening throughout the night, not a good thing to have too much of. So this is something that I do maybe once a week. Not very often. Definitely want to be doing it every single day. That would probably be a bit too much, but that's the video. I know that it kind of gets a little confusing because I don't really have a specific app like that does like those. It doesn't tell you to do those little sways back and forth that I do, and generally you could actually hear it on there. It just keeps on. It went from breathe. I was supposed to be breathing, but instead I was doing those little passes back and forth while I was taking little sips, and then it went even through a bit through the hold. Now I didn't make it all the way today. Normally I try to make it all the way back through the next hold as well, and then just do the recovery breathing in between the next set. But today wasn't able to quite make it. There are easier versions of this. What you can do instead, like on the app, they have different options of one's only like 30 seconds for the breath hold time. The medium's like 40 seconds, and then this is the hard version at 50 plus seconds. You can make your own. You don't have to follow along with that. You can just set up your own way to do this, where you just, a good way to figure out how long to do for that hold time, or the ability you have to do the hold time, is to take a normal breath in, hold the breath, and see how long you can kind of maximally hold your breath after an inhale, and then you can take half that, and that should be about your goal breath hold time for these carbon dioxide tables. That's kind of one way they just generally set them up. Some of them are a bit longer. This is a little bit shorter, whereas some of them really start off with like 2 minutes in between, and then they're down to like a minute 45 in between, and then a minute 30. So it keeps on dropping by 15 seconds, or some. It's a little bit different. There are called carbon dioxide tables. They just differ in how much. Oh, I like this because those can definitely be quite long. This was 11 minutes-ish in total. Those can be quite, like if you're doing a lot of rounds, they can be 20 minutes in length. So, alright, anyways, thanks for being here, watching. Hopefully you guys got good information out of that, or were able to do it along with me. Alright, see ya.